Hello, yes, total nightmare. Total nightmare. I do want to say a little bit about somebody I really care about who's no longer here on this earth, and that's Michael Jackson. I believe Michael Jackson was an angel. He was a person who really cared about other people, especially children, because children are our future and they do bless our lives and they do give us joy and happiness and unconditional love. And children are here to protect and to care about and be there for, and to be dependable and be reliable upon the parents. But I know Michael Jackson really opened his heart to more than just, his children, other children in the world that suffer from physical disabilities, suffer from being poor, not having enough food to eat. I know that he did a lot of his concerts in order to raise money to help the children of the world. I just feel like he's a good person, and it's a shame what happened to him. I just feel in my heart that his astrology sign is a Virgo. And a Virgo is somebody who really cares about each and every person around them. They really open up their heart and their wallet considerably, and they give. Like if somebody doesn't have enough, then they make sure that they have enough, especially family, people that they care about that come into their lives. They try to give as much as they can, even until it hurts. And I just feel that the reason Michael Jackson moved out of Neverland to begin with was because the joy and the happiness that he had in his house to begin with. And this was something that he had because there were lots of children that he was making happy, that he was putting smiles on their face. He did a lot of praying for children. He read a lot of books. He talked to them, walked with them, go on all the cool rides together and make friendships, with children, because I think that in his soul, he's a real child himself. And when you're talking to somebody who is learning about life and have respect and consideration and thoughtfulness, because, I feel that he did help a lot of people. He did wanted to do everything that he could do to help someone, to make their lives easier. But I think that down the road, a couple bad apples stepped in. And I feel that when they walked into his life, they were appreciative at first and very grateful at first for everything that they were getting. But there's always greed that gets in the way, the almighty dollar. And I think that the two gentlemen who accused Michael Jackson of all this unruly, crazy things that he might have done, I wish they would step up to the plate and clear Michael Jackson's name. And the reason I feel that way is because I see Michael Jackson as a very gentle person, a person who, because I think that he's a really good person in a lot of ways, because, he's given mostly everything he's got to help children. And I don't think he would go around hurting a child, because I've looked at everything that he said, everything that's come out of his mouth. But, everybody makes little mistakes here and there. But, I think that the way a person explains things, will show that, hey, I really didn't mean it this way, or, I might have made a mistake here or there, but who doesn't make mistakes? Because when you look at these shows, Nanny 911, and you look at Super Nanny, how many dysfunctional, upper class, middle, rich people are out of control with their own children? But I don't see CPS going and knocking on their door. Because I know that if you mess with somebody who is upper middle class or very, very, very rich, you're going to knock on their door but then they're going to have a lawyer and they're going to fight it. And I'm glad Michael Jackson fought it, but I know he settled. And I think the reason he did that was because he didn't want to traumatize those two young boys. Because I'm pretty sure if they would have got up and they really said what really happened, you know, which I don't really want to believe any of that. I really don't. So maybe I am in denial to some degree. But I know that if one child falsely accused me of doing something like that, I probably would not even hang out with any other children, to tell you the God's honest truth. But at the same time, he still kept hanging out with children, bringing them to Neverland and having them go on the rides. I mean, I know he was paying like $4 million a year to run Neverland because that electricity bill must have been through the roof. And then you're making sure the kids all get toys. You're making sure they all have their favorite foods there. And they're eating. They're getting their grub on. Electricity bills going through the roof, you know. I know that it probably cost them a lot. But at the same time, when you have CPS knocking on your door and you got federal agents going through your house, it's like an invasion of your privacy. But it seems like your home is no longer your home. And it kills and it taints everything from that day forward. And I think that it makes it so that when you look around, it's really unbearable. Because I know how I felt when I moved out of one apartment. It was like, God, I'm stuck with having this CASA worker come by. The CASA worker seems to have amnesia in court. Or we had the CPS worker come by. And it's like we have all these other people watching everything that we do, everything that we say, just sitting there in the corner writing their little notes. And then you go to court, you find all these faults. And it's like the thing that's really hard when you're poor, it's like they won't listen to your witnesses. They won't listen to anybody that you have ready to come to court. But if you're rich, you can have as many witnesses on that stand to clear you and protect you. And say, okay, you know, this is what happened, this is what happened. But that's what I don't like, is the unfairness. And it's really funny when you get a lawyer, they have a tendency to want to drop off the case, especially if you're up in their face and you're like, hey, why don't you mention that my child made every doctor's appointment on time and that she's been going to school every single day on time and that here's her record to show that she has perfect attendance. Can you please speak up in court? Because they're telling me I'm not taking care of my child. And it's just anger when you're just like, wow, why don't these lawyers speak up? Well, I understand it's a 6-year contract. For how many caseloads they have, they're going to pocket all that money. And then they're going to pocket at the taxpayer's expense. But in my heart, I think that the person who started this, which is a woman at the Swedish hospital, I think that she's the coward. And everybody's protecting her. And I heard she's got mental problems. So I'm thinking, hey, this part's got to be a little loopy to tell somebody that their life did not occur. Now, it's different if you grow up with somebody and then you say, okay, you didn't really get a ballerina doll for your 5th birthday. Because you're there and you're watching. But if you tell somebody they didn't get something and then you got a picture of you with the item, and then you got the person who gave you the item come to court, then I think that's unfair when you're just like, you look at the picture and you say, so what, and you put it down. And then you have the person who can verify it come to court, and then you don't want to hear it. Because that's what I got put through. I had people drop everything, come to court for me, and they didn't want to hear them. They didn't want to see them. Everything I submitted, they just looked at, put it down, ignored it. So that's what